Oh, look what happened to me bloody cactus pot. Anyway, in the last video where I was reading out the comments when I done the brakes on that quad bike, I was reading out a few comments and I was finding it really hard to talk, and I come across a long comment by the old lifestyle, hey? Life, hobbies and happenings. I think it was lifestyle and bloody fitness diet or whatever before. Anyway, I come across a comment and it was a long one and I didn't want to read it out. I'd already read it in my head beforehand, but I didn't want to read it out. But I feel a little bit bad because I read other people's comments and the poor old dude there, I reckon his comment was well worth a read. So let's read it out all the way, shall we? The comment was, "Hi, pity about the old nightclub. Think of all that once was going on there. Now the place is almost dead and buried, to be more than likely filled with houses that looked exactly the same as each other." Oh, that look exactly the same as each other. As for neighbours, the neighbour that is joined to me is empty at the moment, as the old lady died. I think it means the house, not the neighbour. The house is joined to him. Anyway, her daughter bought it on the cheap from the council only about 6 months before. They are sorting it out to rent out in August. I hope the new neighbours like the sound of mowers. But when the bloke there was alive, he told us he hated to see us doing things in the garden, as he wasn't fit to do it anymore. Bear in mind at that time, me and my partner was in our 30s, and he was in his 80s. My thinking is much the same as yours. If he had have been nice, I would have helped him. He wasn't so... Hold on a minute. I'm having trouble reading. I've got sweat in my eyes. Let me just get the sweat out of my eyes. Bloody hell, I tell you. He wasn't, so I let him get on with it. The woman on her own was okay. I wish she had lived a bit longer. Anyway, good vid. Cheers there, Mr. Dude there, Mr. Life's Hobbies and Happenings. Sorry I didn't get to read it out before. It's just because my throat was hurting so much and that was a long comment and I was finding it hard. Because I really wanted to add that bit into that video, the comments, because I ain't done it for a while and I did it quite often before, and I felt good about reading other people's contributions to the channel out, and it probably made them feel good when they see their comment read out. And yeah, so I really wanted to do that, but I was finding it really bloody hard to talk. It was literally like I had a camel lodged in my throat and its humps were digging in or something like that. Anyway, so I've read it out now, dude. I hope you're happy. Yes, it is. It is. It says it here, look, lifestyle, fitness, diet. But then if you press on that comment, it changes to life's hobbies and happenings. What on earth's that all about then? I don't know what's going on there. Something a bit odd's going on there. Well, I'm just having a bit of a look about on this now. It's a little bit warm for me, this weather, to tell you the truth, so I'm slowly just taking this apart, all that off. You can hear it's not something is it's definitely one of the bearings in there. I'm hoping it's a small end bearing, because that will be incredibly simple to do. If it's the big end bearing, it's going to be a bit more difficult because I'm going to have to take everything apart. But all I'm going to do is take off the head and see what kind of play we got. You know, take the cylinder off probably, see how it all comes apart. I'm not taking one of these ones apart before, so see how it comes apart. And we'll just see which one is the culprit, and then all I've got to do is try and source one. It's no good trying to source one when you've not taken anything apart. If you can take it apart, and you might even get a part number. You never know. If not, I'll simply go to that place, Simply Bearings, and hopefully they'll better get me a bearing. And we'll get this up and running. I'm very keen to get this going. I'm very excited about it. Oh, right. So, I'm just about now to pull off the flywheel, but I thought I'd quickly show you some of the, if I can do it with one hand. So we got the piston there. You can hear it, listen. Alright, you can feel it, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to show you with one hand. See if we can... No, it's not going to work. That spanner's in there like that. Alright, oh, no. I don't know. It's not going to show up, is it? But you can feel it with your hand, and you can see that there's play in there. To me, it feels like it might be the small bearing, but I don't know. We'll have to have a look. It might not even have a small bearing. It might be one of them stupid ones where the rod connects directly onto the piston and there's no bearing. It's just all one thing. I don't know. It's probably not, given the age of this. They probably did it properly and had separate bearings. Some modern engines, mainly Chinese, but not all, have one complete thing, and you can't replace them. You have to replace the rod, the piston, everything in one. But we'll have a look. I'm just going to get the old gear puller on there. I think I'm going to have to use this big one because that little one is probably too small. There is another one around here somewhere. I don't know what to do with it. I had it in my hand a minute ago. I don't know. Oh, it's over here. But that one's far too small, so I'm going to have to use that big one, try and wedge it on there somehow, and we'll jack it off and we'll slowly get there and have a look, see what's inside. See what awaits us. Right, this isn't anything special, but I thought I'd show you this before I dismantle it so that you can see in case you ever come across the same problem and you ain't got the right tools. My problem is I'm always plagued with I ain't got the right tools for things, because tools are expensive, man. So this is what I've had to do. I didn't have the right flywheel puller, gear puller, whatever you want to call it for this. I've tried all the ones I had for dirt bikes and things, and I didn't have it, they didn't fit. So I used the biggest gear puller that I had. I originally tried to grind some of the things off, but that was a silly thing to do, so don't be doing that. What I had to do was, because they wouldn't fit, it would fit under there, but on the other side it was too narrow, wouldn't fit underneath. So I had to get it in place like that where they would just fit just underneath. Then because they kept slipping out, every time you put pressure on it, it would pop out. And you can't hold all three, and you need more than one person. So I got myself a ratchet strap, one of them, and then got one out of the van, and wrapped it round to hold these tight to the flywheel. And then what I done was I started to do it up, put a little bit of oil in there to try and get down in there and lubricate it up. And you got to be very, very careful, because you can snap you snap this, or you can snap a fin off it, you can snap it. You've got to be very, very careful. So you don't want to be just graunching that down straight away, because you can snap this, yeah? You can crack it or snap it, you don't want to be doing that. So you put a little bit of pressure on, and then you get your hammer, any hammer will do, and then you just give it some taps on there. I should have filmed the process of doing it, but I didn't. So, and then you'll notice that it will start to go. You put a little bit more pressure on, give it a few more taps, and eventually it will pop out just like what this one has. It will pop up, and then you can dismantle your little jig, and off it comes. Lovely jubbly. That's exactly what we wanted. And now we can just work our way in and keep going until we get down to where we need to go. Don't forget about your key. You don't want to be losing your key. Alright, we're at this where I'm very familiar with this stage. We're at the stage of where I can't go any further, because I definitely haven't got the right puller this time. All these small engine pullers that I've got don't bloody well fit. So at the moment, as we speak, I'm just repairing, because I damaged the thread on the old shaft there. I damaged it. I don't know how. I didn't even realise I damaged it, but I damaged it. So all I've done is I've simply got it with got a cloth, a bit of rag around it, because obviously now there's no compression. There's nothing, is there? Because I've got nothing on there. So a pair of mole grips here. One hand, the old die. That's called a die. If you're tapping the outside, it's a die, and if you're tapping the inside, like to screw a bolt into, it's called a tap. Yeah, this is a tap. That's a tap. These are dies for tapping outsides of tapping outer threads. So this is a tap and die set, in case some of you didn't know. Anyway, I'm tapping the outside of this shaft again, just to repair the thread, so that I can put on the oh, where's it gone? Oh well, there's a nut somewhere hanging around here. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so I can put the old nut back on eventually. And then when I have ordered, well, I couldn't find one that looked like it fitted to get this off. This needs to come off, I think. Well, it does. I want to take it off anyway, because I want to. While I'm in here, I might as well restore the whole engine. So I need to take this off. But I haven't got the right puller. So let me just get this out. Pardon me. Let me just get this out the way, and I'll show you. Oh. Bloody hot that nut. Jesus bloody. God, where's my glove? Hold on. Yeah. Oh, it's there we go. It's a little bit tight. I don't know why it's a little bit tight, but I'll always nip it down with that. Anyway, I haven't got the right puller. I've ordered one. It's a Briggs & Stratton puller. Although we don't really need a Briggs & Stratton. But it looks as if it would go on there, and then they would come out, and you got longer bolts that come with it that will bolt into there. I know these I've only put them in there loosely so I don't lose them. I know they've got to come out, don't panic. These 4 bolts have got to come out, I know that. I put them back in there just loosely, just so I don't lose them just for now, because I'm packing up. But yeah, this I've ordered one that longer bolts will screw in there and one will screw in there, and it should sit on top with a thing, and you should be able to suck it out. So I've ordered that. So this is another, it's on hold again. I do get quite sick of having projects that are on hold, but you know, I suppose it's my own fault for not having the right tools. You do one project and you buy all the tools. You see, I've got tools all over the place. You know, I've got pullers for dirt bikes, pullers for other engines, pullers for lawnmowers. I've got all kinds of pullers, but none of them fitted on here. I had to use those funny gear pullers, which ain't the right thing, to get the flywheel off, because I didn't have a flywheel puller. All the flywheel pullers I've got, every single one of them are only 2, and they're opposite each other, whereas this is bloody 3. And 3 things, and they wouldn't fit. So that's why I had to use the gear pullers, because I didn't have a puller that was either the 3 or in the right you know, pattern or anything like that. So I had to use that, but I can't use the gear pullers on here. I tried to set it up, but might not seem flimsy, but it is a bit flimsy. And the last thing I want to do is put a crack around anywhere around here or snap any of this off. It's the last thing I want to be doing. So yeah, so it's going to be on hold again, unfortunately. It's a bit of a pain in the arse. It's annoying. I don't like half finishing things. I'd rather just get into it, know what I need to get, what parts I need to get, and then come back to it. But now I've got to wait again, get the thing just to get that off, and then I can find out what bearing I bloody well need. Because I've tried looking for the whole bearing kits and things, and even just looking for the bearings, but I can't get them anywhere. For those of you that may be interested, I've looked all over the internet. I've been in the mower shop, which is local to me. He don't care. He's not interested. He sells new ones. He repair new ones. But when it comes to the older ones, every time I go in there and say, I've got this mower, he goes, oh, it's an old one. Yes, it is an old one. It's from the 80s. Oh no, we don't have anything for that. Every time I go in there, there's no interest whatsoever. So it's no good. I've looked all over the internet and I can't find parts for this engine. I found parts lists, I found parts catalogues, I can find part numbers, but when you go to find people that sell these parts, there ain't none about. So my plan, that's the reason, because if I could do that, I would have just bought a whole complete engine kit. I would have bought gaskets, I would have bought bearings, I'd have bought a lot, and had them here now, and I'd have been able to, well, I wouldn't have been able to get in there because I wouldn't have had a puller, but I'd have everything, and I could do it in one hit. But because I can't do that, that's why my plan is to take it apart, see which bearing it is. I might just get both bearings, big and small, just to make sure I know they're done then. There's no play on the main bearing. But anyway, get that bearing out, and then I can go to bearing specialists. There's one that's called Simply Bearings, and there's another one, but I can't remember what they're called now. They just do bearings for everything. All kinds of bearings you can possibly think of, they'll do them. So hopefully, if they don't have any on the shelf or haven't made any before, if I can go there, or even if they're far away and post it to them, I don't know, I don't really care. The bearing that I want, they might better make me up a replica. That's the plan. It's a fairly common thing to be doing when you've got old engines. You have to get things custom made. So anyway, it's going to be on hold. Very unfortunate, very annoying, because I've been out here sweating like a pig trying to get this apart and I ain't even got nowhere yet. Never mind.